My practice is very, very, very diverse, culturally and also artistically in the disciplines that I work within. So it's sometimes very discombobulating, confusing for people to try to put their finger on it. But I have a classical background in music, so I was trained in classical music, and I used to teach piano and teach theory, music history, all of that. And then I also have a training in visual arts, but as an experimental visual artist. And then dance kind of happened on its own. I'm untrained in dance, but I work with dancers who are highly trained, either in contemporary dance, modern dance, ballet, and also other world traditions like classical Cambodian dance, classical Javanese dance from Indonesia. So I'm very, very much working within a classical training or classical background. What I do is very contemporary and experimental often.
I could have sworn that you were trained in classical dance or folk dance or dances of
So, well, as for dance, I'm not trained in dance. It came naturally. And then, so I Western contemporary dance I have been part of for a long time. On top of that, layered on top of that, I've had an interest for a long time as well in a classical dance from Indonesia, from Cambodia, from China, from Japan, from Asia, a lot of Asian places, countries, Asian places, and so those have influenced my work. I was a foreign student in Java, in Indonesia, for a year, where I did learn some dance, some Javanese dance, and also my first my first trip to Indonesia in 1990. I studied Balinese dance in Bali and so that has influenced my work a lot, and I've kept in contact with Indonesian artists, and very much so Cambodian artists as well currently.
Oh, okay. Where did you study? What is your formal study background?
From grade 3 to 13, when they still had grade 13, I was just down the street at St. Michael's Choir School for 11 years, which is a cathedral choir school. So that's where I got my music training, and I became an organist. I wrote choral music. I sang in the cathedral every Sunday. I learned how to piano. I got my performance in piano. So I have a very solid classical music background. And then I went to York University after that for visual arts. I just wanted to do visual arts, and I did something called experimental directions, which was basically do what you want. And I did a lot of video art and performance art mostly. So I basically majored in performance art. And within that paradigm, I could really draw in everything that I wanted to do and everything that I could do. So I really did depend a lot on my music training, and I did creative writing under B.P. Nicol, who was teaching at York then. I was lucky enough to be one of his students, and also I did composition, musical composition. I continued my music with James Tenney. Both B.P. Nicol and James Tenney have since passed away. Another teacher who was very influential was Vera Frankel, another amazing artist, Toronto artist, and she still is very supportive of my work, and she really influenced me a lot in the 80s when I was going to York. I don't usually teach dance. I don't know if I could, partly because I don't have training in dance. Okay. So I've done my own thing. Of course, yes, I train dancers in the studio when I'm teaching them my work. I guess you could call that training. So what I've done at School of Toronto Dance Theatre, for instance, is I've gone in to make repertoire. Well, repertoire, I don't know what they call it, but to make a piece, create pieces. I've done over 4. They keep bringing me back. I don't know why. So it's been a very nice way to connect to younger generations of dancers in a creative way. I've also taught at Claude Watson School of the Arts, so you know, young people again, and also at what used to be called Canadian Children's Dance Theatre, now Canadian Contemporary Dance Theatre, CCDT. I've made work for them as well, so I've worked with young dancers there. In fact, in 1990, I ended up traveling to China with CCDT. It was a tour they did, and I was on my first trip in Asia, so I joined them in China, and that was really wonderful, very interesting, and hanging out with these young, wonderful artists as they discovered China for the first time. I was actually discovering China for the first time as well. So yeah, that youthful spirit is very wonderful, life-giving for me, really inspiring.
You were saying that you're from Jamaica. There's a large Asian community in Jamaica. But how has your Jamaican roots influenced your work?
Yes, good question.
Just get up and walk away.
Yeah, it's a good question, and I walk away. Actually, a lot of my work has been connected to Jamaica. Yes, I'm Jamaican, Chinese Jamaican, mixed heritage. Obviously, the majority is Chinese blood, and also black and also Irish. But this is very typical of a lot of Jamaicans. And what came out was very Japanese. Everyone swears that I'm Japanese. I look Japanese. Anyway, yes, I'm a Jamaican Chinese, and a lot of my work has kind of head-on dealt with identity, and partly through the question of, am I Jamaican? And I've done works for School of Toronto Dance Theatre. One was called Jamaican Chinese. That was the title, for instance. And just 1 month ago, I was in Jamaica at University of West Indies doing a talk. I gave a talk about fluid identity and being Jamaican. And I did a performance as well and talked about my work. And I have a film coming up in collaboration with artist Jeremy Mimna, and the title is Jamaican,